Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Signals Facebook Live. I am Genevieve Wood, and we are outside the United States Capitol, which those watching the news have to know. The Reverend Billy Graham is lying in honor inside the Rotunda there. There was a ceremony for him earlier today where the President spoke, Senator McConnell and Speaker Ryan spoke. But now people have been lining up since about 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and they have until 8 p.m. tonight to actually go through the Rotunda and pay their respects. So you can see the line out here. I would say a couple of thousand right now are already lined up and have begun going through. Again, that started about 1 o'clock, goes till 8 o'clock tonight. And we thought we would come out and talk to some of the folks here. We've seen a few friends from Heritage and other places, but a lot of folks from all over the country have come here as well. So we wanted to talk to them, find out why they're here, and just get their thoughts on the Reverend Billy Graham and his life and legacy. So one such family we're going to talk to first. Hi, how are you? Tell us your name, where you're from, and why you're here.
I'm Scott Cox, and this is my wife, Deborah Cox, and we're from Warner Robins, Georgia.
And did you all come up just for this, or were you already in town?
We were already in town, and so, but it's such an honor to come up here and pay homage to him.
How did you first become acquainted with who Billy Graham was? Did you go to a crusade at one point, or did you just grow up hearing about him? What did you all know about him?
Grew up all my life with him on the television and listening to him, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and just the same thing. Where I remember his week-long crusades that he would do on TV, and just remembering him that way.
What kind of impact do you think he's had on the nation? I mean, that's what everybody's talking about now. But to you all personally, what kind of impact do you think he's had?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think he's run a wonderful race for God, and it's been a wonderful thing just to be around him and know him. And I think he's impacted tens of thousands, if not millions, of people, and that's great for Christ. And he was always a humble man. I never thought of him as someone that was bigger than anyone, and that was what's really nice. Even someone like him that's run such a great race was always humble about the fact he needed Christ in his life.
And he seemed to be able to share that message with people in politics, obviously, but all sorts of backgrounds and parties, political parties for that matter.
I love the fact that you could, on all of the news media, you could see the lines of people just there to pay respects to him, and that's really cool when Christians come out and really support, and it's exciting to see.
Well, thank you all very much for talking with us. You hear a few dogs in the background, nothing to be frightened of, everyone. That's just security. No, it's not you guys. We just have a few security accounts. Thank you all. And thank you for talking with us and being here. Appreciate it very much. All right, we're going to keep walking down the line here. Hello, how are you? I'm Genevieve.
I'm Jeanette Fortin.
And where are you from?
I'm from Maryland, but I was born in Cameroon. I speak French very well.
Well, some of our audience might speak French, but I'm going to guess most of them speak English, so we'll stick with that, and I don't speak French. So tell us what brought you out today.
I think that Billy Graham was a great person of faith, and as a believer, and I understand the importance of faith in our life, in our daily life. Faith is the base of success. It's not knowledge. It's not money. When you have faith, it makes you humble. And when you are humble, you serve everyone. And I'm proud of him. And even though I might not agree with everything he stands for, but when it comes to faith, as a Christian, I have to be here, even though I'm a Catholic.
I was going to ask you, how did you first learn about Billy Graham?
I watch his talks at home, as I do with most speakers, and especially I was a believer, and as a believer, I'm touched by the way he preached his gospel. I understand his principle, and I love his principle. I like his position for marriage, and that was very, very touching to me when someone really tells you what he feels from his heart. And I think Billy Graham was somebody that tells you what he feels from his heart, even if he's going to miss your love.
Right.
Yeah, he tells you what he stands for, and that's integrity. He's a person of integrity, love, and faith.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. So, and indeed, she mentioned that she's Catholic, and you probably saw some priests walk right behind her. Indeed, Billy Graham was someone who he grew up as a Southern Baptist himself, and that was really the denomination of most of his life. But he certainly was someone who crossed many, certainly Christian religious denominations. And he and Pope John Paul II were, I don't want to say close friends, but were good friends. And he actually, I understood, Billy Graham spoke at the Pope's church on the day that the Pope actually was named the Pope. Billy Graham, this was back in the early 80s, actually was already scheduled to be speaking in Poland at the Pope's church and did so. So anyway, he goes back a long time with people of many different denominations. All right, let's talk to a few other folks here. Do you have anybody in mind, Morgan? Oh, okay. Guy in the blue, I'm told we're going to be able to talk to up here. Okay, we'll keep going. I think he must be waiting on us.
I just figured out it's a tactical diversion for other people.
Oh, no. So tell us your name, sir, and where you're from.
Bob Zentmeyer from New Jersey.
And what brought you? Were you already in town, or did you come down specifically?
Specifically to pay homage to Billy Graham. Yeah. I mean, he was a man who preached love and forgiveness to people of all races, all political backgrounds, from different countries. He did it consistently for decades, and he was unwavering. So what a chance to pay homage to someone like that in this day and age. So, yeah.
And people have kept saying, there are very few like him ever before, and certainly in today's arena. Do you see anybody kind of coming up the ranks who could be like that again?
I think there's probably a number of people specifically. I'm not sure, but whoever can be as selfless as he was and led in a mission that he felt he was led by God to do what he did. I think there could be many people. I wish there were more people like that for sure. But it's just, he was just a breath of fresh air. Well,
and as they say, so many people learned under him, either directly or through his ministries. So there may be a lot of Billy Grahams, if you will, out there that we may never know their name in terms of the fame that he's had, but the way at their local level and just their form of ministry and pastoring to so many.
Oh, absolutely. The message is that he just kept saying over and over again, it's not me, it's the message. It's unconditional love and forgiveness through Jesus, and he loved and he lived it, and he was the standard bearer, and we're the better off to be living in the generation that had someone like Billy Graham.
Are you surprised to see so many people out here today?
Not at all. No. I'm sure it impacted so many for generations. Yeah. The Crusades and just his consistency, and then it's living on through his son, through the Samaritan Purse. I know that they do all kinds of humanitarian stuff. So what a great country to have someone like him growing up and doing what he did over the years. Yeah.
Thank you very much for talking with us, and great to see people making the travel here to actually be a part of this. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of different factoids out there about Billy Graham. We actually, if you go to the Daily Signal website, dailysignal.com, and I'm sure Morgan will put that link under our video here, we had like a top 10 facts about Billy Graham's life, some of which I'm sure you've heard. One of the ones I found really interesting was that he was listed, so Gallup started doing an annual poll of most admired people, and they started that in 1946. Billy Graham appeared on that list over 60 times, 61 times to be exact, which is more than any other public figure appeared on that list. So, and most recently actually was in 2017. As you probably have heard, he spoke before over 200 million people in 185 countries and territories around the world. We took a look and looked up where he first held his first crusade. It was actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan, back in the 40s. And then his last official crusade event was at Madison Square Garden in New York City. All right, let's keep talking to a few more. Oh, here we have somebody right here. Hi, sir. How are you? And so what is your name and where are you from?
I'm George Abraham. I live in New York. I'm originally from India.
Okay, and so you're originally from India, but you live in New York now. Were you already in town, or did you come down specifically?
I came down specifically for this, yeah.
And why so? What motivated you to?
Well, I want to pay tribute to a man which I feel a man of God, More than that, he's one of those preachers I consider who lived as an example to others. For example, he walked the walk, and he was a man of integrity and honor, and he lived a simple life, which was an example to all others. And he had a very simple message. That is, God loves you.
Did you first hear of him when you lived in India, or was it after you came to the United States?
Well, in India, I was too young to attend his crusade. My parents attended the crusade. But the first opportunity I got in New York, that was in Madison Square Garden. I went and attended that.
And
So,
what was the audience like there? People from all over, I'm going to guess.
you mean in Madison Square Garden? Yeah, I think it was the whole world. I think he attracts the world. I think, of course, New York is a microcosm of the world. And everyone was there. And it was really a time I still remember. And I have watched so many of his programs on TV as well. It has always been inspiring. And he was a man of God who didn't divide people, who didn't emphasize on theological differences or anything. But
Yeah, he had his beliefs, but he talked to people across the denominations.
and he also came to India, met with Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and he had that connection with the world leaders. And a man who really has influenced millions. I don't know there will be anyone like that.
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. Thank you very much for talking with us. Hope it goes well inside. Thank you. Hi, how are you? I'm Genevieve.
I'm Laura Coffee.
And where are you from?
I'm from Northern Virginia,
Okay.
but my husband was in the Army 30 years, so I'm just an American.
Well, tell us what brought you out. Why was it important for you to come here and stand in line and actually be able to go into the Rotunda today?
When I was a young girl living in California, my mom said, "Hey, come in here and hear this man on television." It was Billy Graham. It was the first time I clearly heard that God loved me and wanted to have a relationship with me, and that I needed to be reconciled to him, and that Jesus Christ took the brunt of my sins against God so that I could be forgiven and having the gift of eternal life. And my life changed that day as a young girl. Wow. I even wrote to that little address as it came across the screen, and I've never looked back, and I'm going to be 60 in May, so it's been 50 years now. So I just want to express my love and appreciation for him. He wasn't with his family, traveled all over the world, and I'm just grateful to him, but mostly to God for using him.
Well, and so many people have a personal story in your case, but George W. Bush and, I mean, others, right, all up and down the chain in terms of fame and the like, have personal stories like that one.
So I'm just so honored to be here. And thank you for choosing me to be interviewed.
Well, thank you for talking with us. I know a lot of people out there are going to love what you said. Thank you very much. So again, this is a crowd that started about 1 p.m. Eastern. They're going to about 8 o'clock tonight. People are going to be allowed to go through the Rotunda. As you may have heard, Reverend Graham is one of only 4 Americans to lie in honor, as they call it, in the Rotunda, who is not a U.S. president. So it's quite rare. A lot of famous people come and go. A lot of famous people die. A lot of admired people die, but very few get the honor that he is actually having here today. She mentioned, and several people we have talked to have mentioned the fact he was someone who talked to people on both sides of the political aisle, and indeed he counseled basically every president, or had counseled with every president since World War II, beginning with Harry Truman all the way up through President Barack Obama. So he certainly spanned history, but also political parties and beliefs, and so many on both sides of the aisle have come out and talking about the impact they've had, that he's had in their life, and obviously so many of the other people here. So again, I mentioned the top 10 facts about his life, or 10 of the facts. I don't know if they're the top 10, but they're 10 very interesting facts. You can find those on dailysignal.com, and we'll put them also right on the screen below me here. Check that out. We also have a piece coming out by my colleague at the Heritage Foundation, Jennifer Marshall, who went to Wheaton College, which is where Billy Graham also attended and where he met his wife, Ruth. They have a Billy Graham Center there, but she talks about his faith and the impact he's had on the larger arena, both here in Washington, America, and around the world. So we wanted to give you a sample of what it was like to be here. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Daily Signal, and we will see you back here next time.